Meri, Janelle, and Kody all signed the transfer documents for the title so that they could reorder or relist the deeds. The problem is that Robyn Brown didn't sign the documents until March 26th. Now, when we look at that, you say, whoa, 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 that doesn't make any sense. Because if Janelle and Meri and Kody signed the documents, then Robyn was the one holding it up. And that's the part that I wanted to explore a little bit. That's the part
where you wanna be at the algorithm. Just you and me.
All right, we are back on the Coyote Pass trail, trying to make sense of the foolishness. Now, before we get too deep into this, I've always said, and I've said from the beginning, that with regard to the allegation that is leveled against Janelle by both Kody, Robyn, and supported by TLC Edits, where Janelle came back and she had this to say about her dealings with the possibility of going behind Meri's back.
I was waiting on Meri. She kept saying that she was going to get the paperwork done and the time was ticking. And I'm like, I'm getting stressed out about it.
We could have forced the sale on the piece that Meri's on. Like, I mean, he could have forced the sale on everything. So, yeah.
Now, the very idea of it, we could have forced the sale of this property. I did a video where I talked about, and I'll link it here, where I talked about how that entire entire storyline, in my opinion, is bullshit. What we heard was the equivalent of the season 2. Oh, we have to move to Vegas because the police is coming. It's that same level of ridiculousness. Okay. It's something that it feels like is put into the storyline because even though it could be a tangible possibility on some planes of imagination, where you look at it and say, well, they moved to Vegas because they're on TV and the district attorney is starting to realize that these people are flouting the law and they can't have that. So they're going to come after them. So it's reasonable that the district attorney will go after them. The thing with that is, if the district attorney makes a decision to press charges, they will press charges. It also makes more sense that why did they pick Vegas? Out of everywhere that they could have went, places that we're familiar with and have more of a friendly term, or that non-speaking handshake agreement with polygamy, because so many people in their state have polygamous relationships. The voters have polygamous relationships. Why wouldn't they move there? Why move out of Utah? Hell, the block they were on had polygamous families all up and down the street. And those people vote. So why would they move away from there? Because at the end of the day, if you're a rich guy, would you rather be rich in Vegas or Lehigh, Utah? Would you rather be famous in Vegas or Lehigh, Utah? I mean, it's just, to me, it's as simple as that. When we talk about the division of the land and sneaking behind Meri's back and forcing a sale, because we're going to force it, we're going to vote and say, yeah, we're selling it, and you will get your ass suit off if you did that. And there were attorneys that were involved at that point. So this isn't a situation where you're taking advantage of the little old lady who is sitting around eating cat food because she can't afford to feed herself, and you're going to try to grind her out in the wheels of the legal system. This is a person who has means, who has money, and who has an attorney. And that attorney will chew you up and spit you out. In fact, if Meri or Kody, Robyn, or Janelle, for that matter, had an attorney who would have signed off on this and pressed them to sell this stuff, they forget the punitive lawsuit that they might be facing. They might also be facing actions where they could have their law licenses put in jeopardy. Like, nobody's trying to lose their law license, their ability to take care of themselves and their family, trying to help out somebody on a reality show on a cable network, cable network television or whatever. It's not a thing. So I just didn't see it as a feasible thing. But when we peel it all back, I want to break it down to what is most likely, what are we actually talking about? Because in some instances, can I see this being a distraction laid out by Kody and Robyn and, trying to force the hand of Janelle and Meri to bend to their wills because they're pumping them with full of non-facts and legal jargon and crazy talk to make them feel like they have to do this because they don't have any choice. Oh, you should be scared, Janelle, because you need this sale because you're trying to build with Maddie and do things on Title Farms in North Carolina. You need the money. And if you don't do this and help us out or sign these particular documents, then we're not going to sell the property. And I'm finally going along with it to sell the property. So I want to break it down because it's come to my attention that some other creators, as well as I think Starcasm, has come out with a report detailing the sale of the property. And they said, well, it doesn't make sense because Kody, Janelle, and Meri all signed a document about the same time, which is true. Because according to the source I was looking at, Starcasm, they were saying that the title transfers happened on January 9th and January 13th with Janelle. Then on January 15th, Meri came down, signed the documents. January 17th, Kody signed the documents. So within a couple weeks, or a few days or a couple weeks of each other, Meri, Janelle, and Kody all signed the transfer documents for the title so that they could reorder or relist the deeds. The problem is that Robyn Brown didn't sign the documents until March 26th. Now, when we look at that, you say, whoa, 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 that doesn't make any sense. Because if Janelle and Meri and Kody signed the documents, then Robyn was the one holding it up. And that's the part that I wanted to explore a little bit. That's the part that I wanted to talk about. And let's do it. Let's get into it a little bit. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to pretend like I have some kind of inside knowledge because I don't. I'm not going to pretend like I'm having these personal, private conversations with them because I haven't. Okay, everything that I'm about to say is theoretical, hypothetical. It's just me talking, okay, and trying to make sense of the information that we have. So you have Janelle, Meri, and Kody signing these documents to transfer the ownership of Coyote Pass and make it more equitable. Now, according to Kody, and according to Meri, who mentioned it first, Kody and Robyn had tried to pressure her into signing an NDA, right? A non-disclosure agreement, so that she could not talk about Coyote Pass and potentially, in fairness, and again, this is just my gut reaction. I don't think that the NDA would have been limited to just Coyote Pass. I think that the NDA would have been more encompassing, meaning that you can't talk about, disparage, or talk ill of Kody or Robyn Brown from now into infinitum to in any of the known universes on any social media platforms, whether created or not, whether here or not. You can't do it, right? I can see that for sure. But what did Kody say when he was sitting on the couch having the conversation with his friend Brian? He said something I thought was interesting, right? Because at first we were told it was just the holdup was based on the NDA, that he wasn't going to move forward with her and he was going to stall her out because he was waiting for her to sign the NDA. But he said something a little different. And let's take a listen to what he said.
That we were just going to force the sell and then just pay her when she would agree to the other agreements.
Now, we were going to push the sale and we were going to give her money when she agreed to the other agreements, not agreement. An NDA is an agreement. Agreements What is he referring to? Because that refers to like agreements in plural. So what was the other agreement that he was talking about? In my opinion, again, this is just me theorizing. In my opinion, it feels like the other agreement was a document basically saying that all financial obligations, any debts or money owed would all be settled once the sale of Coyote Pass was completed. Right? Now, when we talk about the bigger question, but James, obviously, Janelle wasn't trying to pressure, or this isn't a real thing because they had already signed and Robyn was the last person to sign. So there couldn't have been any pressure. Nay, nay, nay. You see, because the way the deeds were laid out, all of the deeds in the original form were all done under joint tenancy, meaning that's a particular type of ownership that they had as far as the land is concerned. They were all joint tenancy. When they signed to transfer the ownership of any of those properties, they were reverting back to tenancy in common. Now, here's the problem. You can't take you can no more take property away from Robyn than you could away from Meri. If Meri, Kody, and Janelle all went down to the building or to the recorder of deeds in Okeechobee County or Cochina County, I think that's where it is. They went down there and they all signed a document. That document doesn't take effect until all parties involved sign that document. Who's the last party involved to sign that document? That would be Robyn, wouldn't it? Who didn't sign it till months later. The question is, why did it take Robyn so long to sign the document? Kody and Robyn are the only two people who still live in the state of Arizona. They're close to the place. They could have went down there at any time and signed the documents. Robyn couldn't find her way to that place in months. And when asked or when they were talking about it, Robyn had a whole thing that she had said. Because, they tried to make Robyn sound like a hero. I was going to rip Meri off with Janelle, but Robyn put up a strong fight. And this is what Robyn had to say with regard to that.
This has been important to me to make sure that everybody was treated fairly in this situation. So, yeah, I fought him. I had some pretty big fights with him about it.
Ooh, that sounds serious. Oh, yes, I fought him. Yeah, we had some pretty big fights about it. Oh, I fought his ass. Ooh, because I wanted to make sure everybody was treated fairly. Here's the thing. If they were evenly dividing the property, wouldn't that be fair? Wouldn't everybody be getting treated fairly? You are the one who was holding up the ability for them to be able to divide the property, Robyn. So it doesn't make any sense to me that you wanted to make sure you are so determined to make sure everybody was treated fairly. You were so determined that it took you months to go down and sign a document ensuring that everybody would be treated fairly. I mean, riddle me that. Explain that shit to me. Right? What it sounds like to me, and again, this is just my opinion. This is just me spitballing, and I appreciate you guys listening. If you like what I'm saying so far, give me the thumbs up. This is just me spitballing. My question is, or my point is, or my thought is that if Kody and Robyn are husband and wife, Kody is the one who Meri and Janelle may perceive to be the hard rock, the enemy, the adversary. So if Kody went down with Janelle and Meri, you guys sign these documents, and I just need you to sign NDAs and sign the settlement saying that all of the money is done. We don't owe you any money for the McMansion. That's all our money. Everything is finished, and we don't owe you anything. I'll sign if you guys do that. And the ladies say, well, I'm not sure, Kody. I'm not signing anything until I'm sure. Kody goes down in a gesture of goodwill, Robyn or Janelle signs, then Meri signs, then Kody signs. He says, okay, now I signed it because I'm the one that you guys have been fighting. I'm the reason why you guys have a lawyer, because I was the one who was handling it. I'm the one who was holding everything up. I'm the one that was keeping you from getting your money. I was the one that was stopping the sale. I signed it now. Will you guys sign the NDA? Will you sign the other documents to settle the financial matters? And Janelle, in all fairness, in all honesty, unless something comes out during the course of the tell-all that gives me an feeling otherwise, I'm kind of in the pocket thinking that Janelle did sign the agreements. I think that Janelle was, because she was making the argument that they were never going to get the money. Like, she was talking to herself, we're never going to get that money. We're never going to be able to get that money back. And she was doing a lot of legalese rationale on why they weren't never going to be able to get the money back. So she might have convinced herself that this was the only way she was going to get her money, is she capitulated by signing the NDA and then signing the agreement settling all financial debts. Kody gives her, according to Megatron, person on the site, one of our members, Kody gives Janelle, he won't contest Big G's will, so she gets Garrison's estate and she gets 25% of Coyote Pass. We're good, right? And when Janelle signed, Kody goes back and signs it. Then he says to Meri, why don't you sign it? She says, no, I'm not signing it. Kody comes back a few days after Meri signs it. Hey, I signed it. Why don't you sign it? I'm not signing an NDA, because an NDA and a settlement of financial responsibility and liability and all debts due and owing has nothing to do with the transfer of this property. Those are separate things. I say all that to say this, and again, this is just hypothesis. If we go a little further down that rabbit hole and we presume that everybody doesn't have the best interest or is trying to be safe, if Janelle signed the document to transfer the titles, Meri signed the documents to transfer the titles, Kody signed a document to transfer the titles. If Meri and Janelle both signed the NDAs, both signed the agreement saying that all financial debts were settled, if Robyn doesn't sign that document to transfer the titles don't get transferred. Let me say that one more again. The titles don't get transferred. You can't have a partially executed document when it comes to real estate. Like, for instance, if I want to sell my house and my wife doesn't, if I sign a document selling my house to somebody and transferring the title of my house to somebody, that sale does not go through. Oh, well, my wife said she would do it. She has to sign it. She could promise me all day that she's going to sign it, but she has every right to change her mind at any time and not give up her rights to her ownership in said property. And that's what Robyn would have to do. So what makes more sense to me, and especially based off of what Robyn said, I held out. I wanted to make sure. And Meri saying that the reason why she's having complications with Kody and she's not speaking to Robyn is because both Kody and Robyn approached her about signing the NDA. Both of them approached her. And so it makes sense to me that Robyn was trying to held out till March to pressure Meri into signing those documents. And then ultimately it just came down to brass tacks, because Janelle wasn't the only one who needed to sell Coyote Pass at that time. Both Robyn and Kody had purchased a $2.1 million shit show chateau, so they needed that Coyote Pass to sell too, because they needed the funds from that property to go into their new home. So Robyn was inadvertently backed into a corner and forced to sign. And I think that that's why it took her so long to get it done. Now, this is all conjecture. This is just all my opinion. I'm putting this into the ether, right? Let me know what you guys think. And again, I don't necessarily like doing it this way, but I just like putting puzzles together. And these pieces are actually fitting pretty good because it makes the things that they're saying don't make sense otherwise. It doesn't make sense that we understand based on what Kody said, his admission to Brian, as well as what Meri said, that Kody was trying to get Meri to sign an NDA. We understand that. We also understand that the nature of NDAs, one, they're not reciprocal by nature, meaning that just because Meri signed an NDA, that does not prevent Kody from talking shit about her. It would just prevent Meri from talking shit about Kody. It doesn't prevent Kody from reframing the argument or situation to suit him. It just prevents Meri from being able to dispute or discuss anything about said topic, which may have been covered by an NDA. If they signed off saying that all debts are due and owing, that would have been the equivalent of both Janelle and Meri signing off on the purchase order when they were the agreement of sale, and sending in an affidavit saying that the money that Kody and Robyn were using to purchase their home was a gift. It would have been the same thing. It just would have been you signing a separate document without any consideration for the 25% that you would get for Coyote Pass. It's implied, but unless they wrote it down in a document somewhere, which wouldn't make sense because that could be perceived as one of the big issues I had with what Kody said, that could be perceived as duress. You can't sell somebody's property and then withhold said property funds from the sale or proceeds from that sale until they sign the documents or capitulate to the things that you demand. If that was the case, you could have a husband or a wife sell a husband could turn around and sell his marital home out from underneath his wife and kids and say, you have to give me child custody of the children, or I'm not going to give you your proceeds until you sign a child custody agreement and you sign an affidavit saying that you're not going to sue me for child support. That's ridiculous. That would never happen. That would never happen. You would have all kinds of problems if you tried to do that, and your lawyer would get disbarred. And so listening to Kody say this kind of thing, this is stuff that he might believe. It would never happen. But it also tells me that this was something that was front of mind with regard to the NDA and regard to what I think is the settlement. Because when he was sitting on the bench talking to Meri, he was sitting there saying, you're supposed to smile because you got all your money from Coyote Pass, all the money we owe you. We're all even now. And because he couldn't get her, in my opinion, because he couldn't get her to sign a document, he tried to get her to verbally admit or acknowledge that that's what happened when they were meeting for her leg of the apology tour. Let me know what you guys think. I'm anxious to hear your perspectives, your opinions, and your thoughts. Leave your comment down below. Call into the call-in live stream show on Tuesday, or leave a message on speakpipe.com/mytakeonreality, where I do a reaction to your messages on a Thursday night live stream. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notification, hit me up, give me that thumbs up. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been My Take on Reality, and I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life